So I finally got to play Remnant 2, the follow-up and sequel to Remnant from the Ashes, one of my favorite games I played last year. It has the procedural generation, the Souls-like action, the unique weapons, locations, a lot of stuff, and I'm here to talk about it today. This game has been on my radar for a really long time and I've been really excited to play it. I finally finished the game, so I have a chance to talk about it. Before I really get into the video, if you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, check the channel, do the YouTube stuff, it's really much appreciated, and let's get into the video. There is so much to cover with this game, so let's get into the worst part straight on, and that's the story. It's not that engaging, it's not that special. For many of you, I'm sure that's expected. It was expected for me as well. Remnant 1 didn't have the best story out there, so I didn't expect Remnant 2 to have the best story out there, and it did not disappoint. The story is okay, it gets you through the whole thing. It has interesting locations and interesting tidbits here and there, but it's nothing special to write home about. And that's really not the focus of the game here. If you're here for a story game, this game is not for you. I'm sorry to disappoint you. But if you're here for gameplay, now that's what this game is all about. The gameplay mixes the feeling that Souls-like gives you and the Borderlands series, funnily enough. It does give me a Borderlands vibe at special points in the game, but most of the inspiration is gonna be from Dark Souls. You have rings, you have two weapons that you can have, one main, one secondary. You have outfits that are 4 pieces. It's basically very similar to Dark Souls, but also has a very unique spin on it with the procedural generation. Every world that this game has different locations that are procedurally generated that connect through different levels. There's 4 whole worlds that you can explore in this game. And the way it's gonna go is that you get to a specific world, it's gonna drop you in a specific location, that's gonna introduce you to the story of this world, and then you're gonna get into kind of an open world that is procedurally generated and has openings to different areas that you can go to, with each one of these areas having a boss or a puzzle at the end of it. So that's gonna be the main loop of this game. New world with new open world area in it and a new dungeon that you can go down on. But that's not how it ends. If you finish that, you go to the next world and you just move through the story step by step. But I'm not interested in the story part, like I said. What happens after that is where it gets interesting. Where you finish the game, that's only the beginning of it. After you finish the story, you can replay specific worlds or you can replay the story as a whole. And this is where the game gets really crazy. Not only the levels are procedurally generated, but the whole story is procedurally generated. It can change. You're gonna fight different bosses. You're gonna have different storylines. Every time you play through this game, it's gonna have a completely different vibe about it. You're gonna have a different order that you're gonna go to throughout these worlds. For me, the first world I went through in this game was that robot world with a wasteland, which was fun to explore. I did like it a lot. But the second time you play this game, it's gonna be a different world that you start in. It's gonna have a really different vibe, and that's really an amazing achievement that I think this studio should be commended on. Having all these procedural things is really just a really big bonus for replayability. It basically means that you can replay the game as many times as you want because there's a lot of different variants that you can get. Now, one of the things that I really loved about Remnant 1 is all the unique weapons that you can get in this game, both melee and assault rifles and just ranged weapons in general. Each boss is gonna have a specific weapon that you can get through it, similar to how it goes in Dark Souls. So that's where the Dark Souls inspiration comes in. Also managing your stamina as a Dark Souls inspiration, and there's a lot of stuff that they borrow from Dark Souls, but let's take a moment to focus on the weapons right now. So each weapon comes from a specific boss. You can also have the generic weapons like just a machine gun or a pistol or a sniper. You can have those and you can modify those with different mods that you can unlock through the game. But also other than that, you can have weapons that come from specific bosses. Boss weapons, just like in Dark Souls again. And these ones are the really specific, unique weapons. Each one's gonna have a different look, different vibe, different ammo, different shooting style, different utilities, and most of them are really unique. You're not gonna expect the different combinations that you can get through these different weapons. And that is one thing that I really love, especially after playing Starfield, where I felt that there was a big lack of special weapons. This game really shines a light on how important it is to have specific types of weapons and very unique weapons. Just having the normal assault rifle is not enough anymore in games. We need these weapons that just stand out. Cyberpunk, one of the main points that I love about that game is that weapons have unique personalities and they stand out, and I remember most of the guns that I used in that game. The unique ones, I mean. This game also has that vibe. There's a lot of weapons that you can get only from one boss, and they will have a different personality. They are very, very unique and very well done. The sound design of every unique weapon is also really well done, and you have a lot of build options. Speaking of build options, one of my main problems with Starfield is that there isn't that much to branch out in. This game really solved that issue for me. Compared to Remnant 1, this game adds a lot, but even compared to other RPGs, this game adds a lot. The way you can customize your character is that you start with a main archetype. You can think of these as like the classes in Borderlands. So we're gonna choose one of four archetypes that you are gonna start the game with. I chose the handler, the character that comes with a companion that's a dog, and it has specific like skills that are built around having this companion. For example, this dog can revive me when I go down. I'm a solo player, so this comes in really handy. That's why I chose the handler. And midway through the game, you're gonna get the option to add another class. So you can have multi-class, also similar to Borderlands. So this game, more similar to Wonderlands actually than Borderlands, if you played that game. So that's the way you customize your character. You can choose an archetype, and that archetype has different skills and different abilities that you can mix and match with other archetypes. And then that you can mix and match with the weapons that you have, with the mods that you have, and add on top of that the rings that are basically modifiers to your game, to your character, that add extra skills like I don't know, like you get a shield every time you dodge, or you have higher fire rate if you haven't been hit for 5 seconds, stuff like that. You can combine that with the archetypes, with the weapons, with the clothes, which also do have specific categories based on their weight, and you can combine that with a specific like medal thing that adds a different, like also a unique ability to your character. For example, I have one that adds extra speed every time that I don't get hit for a while. So that's the main customization points, and add on top of that the fact that every time you level up you can spend skill points on skills. It's kind of similar to Skyrim in that regard. So all of these systems together, add them on top of each other, and that means that you can branch out and make a character in really, really, really specific detail. There's a lot of build crafting in this game, and the developers expected that, and that's why they give you multiple slots to save characters in. And that's really an amazing replay value thing. Add on top of that the whole like procedural generation idea of this game, and it means that you can get to play this game just forever with new characters and new locations. So we talked about the two big things being the story and the gameplay. Now let's get into the nitpicks a bit. Performance is great. I do have a 4070, so it runs fine for me. When the game released, it ran like shit. I had to refund it, but now the game runs fine, so if you're worried about performance, that's okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the whole graphics deal of the game. If you played Remnant 1, then you see that the graphics jump has been a really big jump. This game runs on Unreal 5, which is a new engine from what I understand. I'm no expert. It does run okay and it does look great, but I do actually prefer the art style of Remnant 1. It's a lot less just squarey and edgy. I do love the locations more in Remnant 2, but the way it's rendered in game, I prefer the first game. But that doesn't discount the amazing art design in Remnant 2, which is just really mind blowing. Every world that you're gonna go to has a very different location and very different art style and a very different world. They really do give you the vibe that this is a different world that you are going through. So all in all, Remnant 2 is a really big step from Remnant 1. Just like the jump from Borderlands 1 to Borderlands 2, just like the jump from Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2, this is just as big, and it's better than Remnant 1 in every way, most of the time. There's one little thing here or there that I don't like as much, but mostly this game is better than Remnant 1 in every way. Boss fights are better, they're more thought out, they're not harder, but they are nicer. Speaking of difficulty, if you're worried because this game is Dark Souls-like, then don't be. This game isn't as hard as the Dark Souls. This game is okay difficulty-wise. I'm sorry for the tangent, but I know that a lot of people are worried when they hear the words Dark Souls-like. So, basically, what I was about to say is that the game looks great, runs great, it's better than Remnant 1 in every single way. I had a pleasure playing this game. It was worth the wait, it's worth the money. Right now, it's on sale during the Steam fall sale, so check it out on that. Even without a sale, I think it's worth it. The DLC seems fine, I didn't play it yet, but I am excited to play it because the DLC in Remnant 1 was really one of the best parts in the game. It's the new world that they added in the DLC, and that was really, really fun, so I am really excited to play Remnant 2 DLC, and I do hope that they continue with it, and I do hope we get more than 3 DLCs, because this game has a really strong foundation that can be built upon for years and years to come, and if they do that, this game has the potential to be on the same level as Borderlands 2, a game that came out 10 years ago and I still play it because it's just that replayable. This game has the legs to stand on that level. They just need to add a little more to it to put it on the same stand as Borderlands 2. But even then, even now, without that, this game is really amazing. If you like these types of games, you can check the gameplay. If this looks appealing to you, check this game out because it is worth your time, and I do think we should support this studio, and I can't wait for the DLCs for Remnant 2. But let me know your opinion. What do you think of this game? I know this video is a lot rambly, but I didn't really have time to edit it and just record it as well as I should have. I apologize. My next video is gonna be a lot more professional. If you enjoy open world games, check the channel. That's my thing. My next video is probably gonna be about Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's also a game I've been waiting for a long time to play it, so I am excited to review that game as well. For now, let me know what you think about Remnant 2. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, check the channel, do the YouTube stuff. And without further ado, just have a nice day and thank you for watching.